morning, ladies and gentlemen. I'm RITA Rupiani Pasaribu. You can call me Rita. I'm majoring in Mathematics Education Magister Program from Sebelas Maret University, Surakarta. Let me explain my article, Analysis of Reflective Thinking Ability of Junior High School Students in Solving PISA or PISA-Like Content Quantity. There are 4 sessions in this article. Number 1, Introduction. Number 2, Research Method. Number 3, Result and Discussion. And number 4, Conclusion. Section 1, Introduction. Problem-solving skills have become an international skill. In problem-solving, the difficult experience by most students include difficult in reading and identifying problems, lack of ideas and carrying out problem-solving strategies, only thinking of suitable formula to be used in problem-solving ability, and many more. The mathematical problem-solving ability of each student varies according to their ability. An evaluation is needed, especially with regard to solving mathematical problems, so that students are more the practicing questions related to problem solving. This evaluation needs to be carried out both on a national and international scale. One of the international tests that Indonesia takes is the Program for International Student Assessment or PISA. This is the Indonesian ranking table in PISA from 2000 until 2018, where Indonesian is always below average. Now, there are 4 math content in PISA. Number 1, shape and space. Namely, space and form conferring various phenomena that are found everywhere in our visual and physical world in area element, mathematics such as spatial visualization, measurement, and algebra. Number 2, change and relationship. Mathematically, this means modeling change and relationship with approach, function, and equation, as well as creating, interpreting, and translating between symbolic and graphical. Number 3, quantity, namely applying knowledge about number and number operation in various settings. And number 4, uncertainty, namely knowledge of number and algebraic aspects such as graph and symbolic representation. While for cognitive process in PISA, there are 3, namely, number 1, formulate, the ability to recognize and formulate mathematical situation or formulating situation mathematically. Number 2, employ, using mathematical concept, fact, and step, or employing mathematical concept, fact, procedure, and reasoning to perform analysis. And number 3, interpret, applying and evaluating or interpreting, applying, and evaluating mathematical outcomes, and reconnecting them to the original situation. One of the abilities that can be used to overcome the problem have been discussed previously is the ability to think reflective. Now, there are 3 indicators of reflective thinking, namely, number 1, reacting. Reacting is thinking reflective to action, react with a personal understanding of a mathematical event, situation, or problem by focusing on the nature of the situation. Number 2, elaborating. Elaborating is reflective thinking for evaluation, analysis, and clarify individual experience, as well as meaning and information to evaluate what is believed by comparing reaction with other experience, such as referring to a general principle of a theory. And number 3, contemplating. Contemplating is reflective thinking for critical inquiry, prioritize the personal understanding. In this case, the focus in a personal level in process such as describing, informing, considering, and reconstruction as situation of problem. Now, we go to the second session, research method. There are 5 important steps in the research method in this article. Number 1, research approach. The approach used in this research is qualitative approach by applying descriptive analysis. Research data. The research data options are in the form of written data for solving problem of the type of PISA or PISA-Like, and also oral data or interview to describe student reflective thinking abilities. Research location. The research location in this research is Junior High School 1 Tanon, Sragen Regency. Sampling and research subject. Sampling using purposive sampling, and the subject of this study were students of class A1 of Junior High School 1 Tanon, Sragen Regency, that is three people as representative. And the last, data collection technical and data validity test. The study used data collection technical with observation, interview, and documentation, and the fidelity of the data in this study was tested through triangulation method. Now we go to the 3 session, result and discussion. Below, we'll show the result of work and interview with students in solving PISA problem. This is the first question. For number 1, for the reacting state, based on the result of the work and interview, all of them, 3 students, they can all meet the reacting state. For number 2, for the elaborating state, based on the result of student work and the identification of research, all of time of the interview, all of them can meet the elaborating state, although in a different way. And number 3, for the contemplating state, based on the result of student work, all of them can carry out problem-solving procedure well, but only subject 1 and 2 re-evaluate their work, while subject 3 does not re-evaluate. It can be concluded that for the question number 1, all subjects can meet the reacting and elaborating indicator, but for the contemplating indicator, only 2 subjects can meet. Now, we go to the second question. For number 1, for the reacting state, based on the result of the work and interview of the 3 students, they can meet the reacting state. All of them can meet the reacting. For number 2, for the elaborating state, based on the result of student work and the identification of research, at the time of the interview, all of them can answer the elaborating state, although in a different way. And number 3, for the contemplating state, subject 2 and 3 made an error in the problem-solving procedure, so that it does meet the contemplating indicator. Only subject 1 meets the contemplating indicator. For the second question, it can be concluded for the question number 2, all subjects can meet the reacting and elaborating indicator, but for the contemplating indicator, only 2 subjects can meet. Now we enter the last stage in this article, conclusion. Conclusion for this article, we can conclude not all students are able to fulfill the 3 indicators of reflective thinking. Based on 3 results, it is recommended for teachers to put more expensive and student is solving questions that lead to a reflective thinking process by giving more PISA questions in the form of formative tests. I think that's all an expression of my article. I realize there are still many shortcomings in my article. If I can continue to study for the perfection of my next article. And thank you for your attention.